We also use special dog ear wipes, other ones like they have in grooming parlours. And we use those to clean his ears, which he hates, and he screams the place down like a big baby. But sometimes he does still get these infections. It's very common in German Shepherds to get these bothersome ears with lots of black wax, and occasionally they get infections. And yeah, so he's feeling a bit sorry for himself, but hopefully the drops will come tomorrow and then he'll start to feel better. Though he will run away. He will literally run away from the top end of the house down to the bottom of the garden and then try to dodge you because he doesn't want you to actually put the drops in because he hates it. But he's having them in. If we're paying 30 quid for the beggars, he is having them in. So, yeah, poor fed up Bert. He's getting the hang of Sonny being here. Sonny Budgie. We have had him for 9 days now. He sits on our fingers. He comes out of the cage when we ask him to. He will occasionally go back in the cage when he's asked to. He'll hop on a perch and he'll ride across the room on the perch. He even had kisses with Beck last night. One thing he won't do, you put him in the cage, just flame and stay in there. I put him in there in the morning. I've got to give him a flap before work. And I try to shut the door and he jumps over my hands and comes out again. So I had to resort to holding the end of his tail to get him back in there, and he's furious and he shouts his beak off at me. But, you know, I can't be being late to work because my budgie won't behave. Can you imagine what my boss would say? I also want to tell you about experiments with feta. I believe last time I mentioned my feta and onion pie, which was feta mixed up with some low-fat cream cheese and some caramelised onions done in olive oil with a tiny bit of sugar, possibly some balsamic vinegar, with some pastry on top, which was what I call diet pastry because it was pastry light. That was delicious. Monday, I did a feta and courgette quiche. Doddle, loads of recipes on the internet. Not I use recipes. I take inspo from them and then adapt them. So I do a lot of quiches and frittatas and such like. I do a crustless quiche, of course. So this was a crustless quiche. And so I just bosh in some eggs and some milk into my jug and then decide what's going to go in it. So boshed in the egg and the milk, a little bit of onion salt, which flavours things, savoury things nicer than ordinary salt, and a little bit of mint because I thought it goes with feta better than oregano, which was oregano, which was in the recipe. And then flash fried some courgettes in some olive oil and some feta in low-fat olive cheese, very low-fat olive cheese, and cream cheese, and mix those up, stirred them in with the egg mixture, boshed it in the oven 40 minutes, came out gorgeous. It was so nice. And last night I had to go at feta-filled burgers. Beck bought me a gadget that makes burgers. It's over here. Come for a walk with me. Where to put the burger gadget, Bert? It's in here. Oop, here we go. One gadget. Joie. So you've got this thing to press it down, this thing to lift it up. So you put your mince in there, flatten it down with that, lift it out with that, and then try to get it on your plate without distracting it. Hopefully you can see that. Worked pretty well, as long as I used a good flat knife. I did one patty, which was made of very low-fat steak mince, mixed up with some breadcrumbs, which I made myself by nuking a crust of wholemeal bread in the food processor. I also blasted some onions and some peppers, and I put in some garlic and olive oil, just a splash, because I didn't want it to be too sticky. And yeah, mixed those all together in a food processor, made it patties, slapped them in that thing, slapped the mixture of, guess what, feta and low-fat cream cheese in the middle, baked in the oven, put them in for 20, thought, not done. Stuck them in for another 10, then left them for 5 to rest, and they were very, very nice indeed. Kept their shape, tasted nice. We were watching a programme about Red Wolf while we ate them. It was all good. In further news, my PIP form has come from the government. For those of you from elsewhere, it's a form to apply for benefits if you're disabled. And I thought, you know what, I struggle so much these days. I really ought to apply. There's something in my head saying there's going to be a point when I can't work, and I'm investigating whether I could afford to stay at home with a work pension and PIP, but it's probably like we could land. I'll probably have to work until I drop. But this is one of the struggles you face when you have a degenerative condition, is